Hey there, curious minds! Welcome back to School Subjects Online, where we explore fascinating what-if questions about science and history. Today we're tackling a truly shocking question. Literally, what if no one had discovered how to harness electricity? Could we live without lights, TVs, or chargers? Let's flip the switch and find out. Okay, imagine this. The sun dips below the horizon and boom, everything goes dark. No streetlights, no glowing screens, just pure darkness enveloping everything around you. No flipping a switch, no lamp to brighten your room. The only light sources were natural ones, and they were far from reliable. That's life without electricity. Before the invention of the light bulb, people relied on fire for light. Candles and oil lamps were the go-to solutions, but they had their limitations. Think flickering candles casting dim shadows, or oil lamps that needed constant refilling. These light sources were not only dim but also required a lot of maintenance. Imagine trying to read a book by candlelight. You'd be squinting in no time. The strain on your eyes would be immense, making it difficult to enjoy a good book or get any detailed work done. And forget about staying up late. Once the sun went down, your day was pretty much over. The natural rhythm of life was dictated by the rising and setting of the sun. No more late-night study sessions, no more watching your favorite shows, and definitely no more scrolling through your phone in bed. The concept of nighttime entertainment was vastly different. Now imagine trying to navigate a city street at night with only the moon and stars to guide you. The streets would be eerily quiet and dark, with only the occasional flicker of a candle in a window. It would be pretty difficult and a little bit spooky, right? The absence of artificial light made nighttime travel a daunting task. People would have to be much more careful about traveling after dark. Lanterns and torches were essential for any nighttime journey, and even then, visibility was limited. But here's the thing. People adapted. They went to bed earlier, woke up with the sun, and found ways to make the most of daylight hours. Their routines were in harmony with the natural world. They told stories around the fire, played music, and spent time with their families. These activities brought people closer together, fostering a sense of community and togetherness. It's amazing to think about how resourceful people were before electricity. They found innovative ways to light their homes and carry out their daily tasks. They found ways to light their homes, cook their food, and entertain themselves without relying on the flick of a switch. Their lives were simpler, yet they managed to thrive. So, while a world without electricity might seem inconvenient to us now, it's important to remember that people lived that way for centuries. They developed skills and habits that allowed them to make the most of their environment. And who knows, maybe they even appreciated the peace and quiet of a world without the constant buzz of technology. The simplicity of their lives might have offered a kind of tranquility we rarely experience today. Alright, let's talk about communication. Today, we're used to instant connections. We can text, call, or video chat with anyone in the world in seconds. But in a world without electricity, things would be very different. Forget about smartphones, laptops, or even radios. Communication would rely on much slower, more traditional methods. Think handwritten letters delivered by horse-drawn carriages or even carrier pigeons. Imagine having to wait days, weeks, or even months to receive a letter from a loved one far away. You wouldn't be able to just shoot them a text to see how they're doing. You'd have to wait patiently for a letter to arrive, full of anticipation and maybe a little bit of worry. And forget about sharing news instantly. Newspapers would be the main source of information, and they would take time to print and distribute. Can you imagine waiting a whole day to find out the latest news? No live updates, no breaking news alerts, just good old-fashioned patience. But here's the thing, this slower pace of communication might have had its advantages. People might have been more thoughtful with their words, taking the time to craft meaningful letters instead of firing off quick texts. And without the constant distractions of social media, they might have been more present in the moment, enjoying face-to-face conversations and building stronger relationships. It's fascinating to think about how different communication would be without electricity. While we might miss the convenience of instant connections, it's worth considering the potential benefits of a slower, more deliberate form of communication. It could lead to deeper, more meaningful interactions, and a greater appreciation for the messages we receive. So, next time you send a quick text, think about the art of letter writing and the joy of receiving a heartfelt message. It's a beautiful reminder of how far we've come and what we might have lost along the way. Chapter 3. Powering Down Industry Before Electricity. Hold on to your hard hats because we're about to journey into the world of work without electricity. Imagine stepping back in time to an era where the hum of electric machinery was non-existent. Forget those giant factories humming with electric machinery. Picture a world where the power of electricity is just a distant dream. In this alternate reality, we'd be relying on good old-fashioned muscle power and some clever inventions. Every task would require physical effort and ingenuity. Imagine factories powered by water wheels or windmills. These natural forces would be harnessed to drive the machinery, turning the wheels of industry. These renewable resources would dictate the pace of production, sometimes literally grinding to a halt on calm days or when the river flow was low. The unpredictability of nature would be a constant challenge, and forget about assembly lines and mass production. The concept of producing goods in large quantities would be a far-off reality. Most goods would be made by hand, one at a time, by skilled craftspeople. Each item would be a labor of love, crafted with precision and care. This means your clothes, your tools, even your toys, would be carefully crafted, unique pieces. Every item would have its own story and character. Now imagine the sounds of a pre-electric factory, the rhythmic churning of gears, the whoosh of steam engines, the clang of hammers shaping metal. It would be a symphony of human effort and mechanical marvels. It would be a symphony of human ingenuity and mechanical marvels, a testament to our ability to innovate and create, even without the convenience of electricity. The ingenuity of the human spirit would shine through. But this slower pace of production would have a ripple effect on our lives. The speed at which goods are produced would be significantly reduced. Goods would be more expensive and harder to come by. The scarcity of items would make them more valuable and cherished. We'd likely learn to value quality over quantity, repairing and cherishing our belongings instead of simply replacing them. The culture of repair and reuse would be prevalent. So, while a world without electricity might mean a slower pace of life and a greater reliance on manual labor, it also means a world where craftsmanship is king and every object tells a story. Each handcrafted item would be a testament to the skill and dedication of its maker. Chapter 4. Chilling Out, Food Preservation Before Fridges. Okay, let's talk about everyone's favorite subject, food. Specifically how we'd keep our food fresh without those handy electric refrigerators humming in our kitchens. Before refrigeration, people relied on age-old techniques to preserve food and prevent spoilage. Think salting, drying, smoking, pickling methods that have been passed down through generations. Imagine hanging meats and fish to dry in the sun, transforming them into jerky and other preserved delicacies. Picture rows of jars filled with colorful pickled vegetables, bursting with tangy flavors. These methods not only preserved food but also added unique tastes and textures to their meals. And let's not forget about root cellars. These underground storage spaces, cool and dark, were essential for keeping fruits, vegetables, and other perishables fresh for longer periods. It was like having a natural refrigerator built right into the earth. Now imagine a world where grocery shopping is a more frequent event. Without refrigerators to keep food fresh for long periods, people would need to shop for groceries more often, relying on local markets and seasonal produce. This would mean fresher ingredients and a closer connection to the food they eat. So, while a world without electricity might mean saying goodbye to frozen pizza and ice cream on demand, it also means embracing traditional food preservation methods and savoring the flavors of fresh seasonal ingredients. Thanks for joining us on this electrifying journey. We've explored what life might be like without electricity, from the way we light our homes to the way we communicate and even the way we keep our food fresh. It's amazing to think about how much we rely on electricity in our modern world. But it's also important to remember that people lived for centuries without it, finding ingenious ways to adapt and thrive. If you loved this what-if question, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to School Subjects Online for more fun and fascinating videos. Keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you next time.